All right, hello everyone. So let's take a look at the market today. So today is Tuesday. All right, here is gold. Now, yesterday it was choppy overall. It was not a great really day to trade. But yesterday I said we should focus on this zone. Remember? Here we are. Why is that not coming up? This here. Okay, so yeah, I talked about this zone yesterday. Okay, let me just delete that. And this was like the hour to kind of like focus on. And I said if the market does come up, we can sell off again because it's a swing day, Monday. All right, now the Asia did the high there. As you can see, they closed the gap. Market comes up here. This was the zone, like I said, in the market. As you can see, came down and did not go higher than this high there. So if you sold off, you should have been okay, but you should have taken also money here off the table. As you can see, this was also a target that the market came to. And I said this would be a target, and that's how it panned out, really just into there. And now, what about today? Now, if you see the market is still pushing up, it's closing higher, but we haven't gone above the high. So this is that's an inside bar, okay? And now we've got this. Now we can still sell this off, okay? Can still sell this off if the market comes up. All right, so this is the high of yesterday. If we go up to the high of yesterday, sweep the stops, okay, and then let me just see. Yeah, probably come up to this level, okay. So that's the high of the week. That's the high of yesterday. Sweeping the stops around here and then selling off is not a bad idea. All right. So what you can do is sell from the highs. If you want to buy the lows, I'm also okay with that. The first hour is 740. Why isn't that here? This is it here. All right, so that's 740 there. 740. And that's going to be the first location. All right, so from here, the market, as you can see, will probably push up a little bit, bring us back into here or even higher to go into those levels. And then the market should also reverse. Now, we should have some pushy moves in the New York session as well today, Tuesday. All right. So going into those sessions like 11 o'clock, 10 past 11 more like. All right. So we should be going into this session like pushing in and seeing how we go. If we're down here at 11, you can also go long. Okay. And then we should push to 3 o'clock. Now, you should have a tight stop loss no matter where you're getting in because from 11:50 in the morning towards 2 o'clock, we should have like a bit of a pushy move. That should kind of like take us to 3 o'clock. All right. And from 3 o'clock, we'll look to see how we go again. And that's that. All right. And then we've got the 6:20, 8 o'clock. This is also a good zone for swings. So if the market is up here, we can kind of like short it off as well. So let's say the market went down, up, down, up, and then we can like kind of short it down. And this week, the reason the market is a bit tricky is we got serious aspects also tomorrow. And also Thursday, it's like a bit tricky. Okay, so this week is a bit tricky, dodgy. Make sure you're using proper stop losses and everything. So that's the gold. With the gold as well, if the market goes in our favor, like downwards, we should come into this zone. All right, so if the market shorts, okay, so we can have like a whoop turnaround here. And that could be, like I said, until Thursday as well. It could get choppy. All right. So be mindful that we could be mucking around here for a few days and then, kind of like retracing. So just be mindful. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Same with the euro dollar, down. Now we're going up. That's the level 64. If you're using your PST indicator, you should be just fine, as you can see. All right. And yesterday, this was the cleanest to work off, really. This was just pure pleasure, because it was just down at the Astra hours, coming into the weekly pivot, Astra hour going up from there. It's just like nice and easy, basically. So what else can I say? On the weekly, we're still up here. We might see a bit of a choppy, like just like with the others, we might have a bit of a choppy kind of thing. This is looking like it might hit up again, as you can see, like a flag formation here. All right, so this could kind of like go up again and then sell off, and that's also okay. So 64 today was 1.0918. You see, it's pretty precise when it comes to it. That's your opening here. All right, the market comes down and from that 15 level going up. All right, so this is a sideways zone. So you don't want to be trading in between zones. Don't do that. What you want to do is, if you're going to trade the high, trade the low, and look out for stop sweeps. Okay, so you want to do that around the Astro hours. All right, so in New York, looks like we'll get a sweep in New York. Okay, so that's that. And if you want to sell this at 740 here to go down, it's also doable, guys. It's also doable. All right, just do it with a tight stop loss. You don't have to put anything big. That's the high of yesterday, so maybe it'll just drift around here a little bit, but it's also okay to sell. If you're using your PST, do it from the highs to push down. SP 500 yesterday was a bit choppy, I must admit. Okay, so this wasn't that great. But remember, yesterday I did say this zone. I said this zone is a zone where the market will like to trade. And that's where we were at Astro hours. I took this trade, that went a bit sour. It did cover itself. Okay, trades always cover themselves. Well, not always, but majority of the time they'll cover themselves, pulls back down and then goes back up again. And it was like really, really choppy. So it didn't really give me a second opportunity there. And it's also my evening here. So it's like a bit tricky trying to manage, dinner time with the family and so on. So this is coming into, like, as you can see, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and so on. So it was like a bit difficult for me to manage. But if you were trading in New York, you should have been just fine in the morning taking that up. Now here, what do we got? What do we have here? So we've got this wedge happening. Now we're on support here, as you can see. So like I said, this week, the market can be a bit choppy. You really have to be careful on today, tomorrow, and Thursday as well. And what we can still do, I guess, is short the highs and buy the lows until market goes kind of nuts. So on the weekly, we still have a bit of room. As you can see, that's your LCL1 line, 5,303, which is quite way up there. But we'd like to, at least, this is the high of last week. Okay, it's the high of last week. That's your Monday. And so the market still has potential to kind of push up into that zone and sell off and take out the stops above there as well. So that we can actually punt on. And that could be done on a Wednesday. So on Wednesday, the market might come up, rush up there, or we can go up into Wednesday, which is also okay. And then we can sell off. We can sell off on Wednesday, Thursday. That's also an option. So it's a matter of where we find ourselves. So today, if I was to, let's just get rid of these. There's just too many lines around here. So today I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, so this was already done. Let's get rid of this. What you can do today is, because we're above the weekly, the daily, and the closing, this and the daily will be kind of support. So, okay, so there are a few things that can happen, and that is, if we get back here again, if we get here at Astro hours in the New York session, if we dip down in the New York session, like yesterday, dip down, then it's okay, I guess, to kind of like go back up with this, since we have a higher high than yesterday. All right, so the market's up there. So a dip down to follow the move into the highs, I think is okay. And then if we get up here, like I said, we can look for a reversal, but tomorrow I'm thinking. So got to be a bit careful on that because the swing day is on Wednesday and Friday. So if we're up at the top on a Wednesday, shorting it on Wednesday, Thursday into Friday, I think is okay. Thursday, there's just a tricky day on a Thursday, which we've got to be careful about. And that's going to be in the Asia session, where we might have some volatility around 6 a.m. in the Asia session. So you've got to be careful for that. On Thursday, if you're going to trade, maybe do it in the morning and not in the Asia session. Just wait, I guess. Let's take a look at Dow Jones. Okay, with Dow Jones, same kind of thing. Okay, as you can see, right, market dips down. Those were the levels there. Today, that's your resistance, 55, 38, 77, 38, 877, 38, 8. That's your first resistance there. Okay, that's for today. This is an hourly chart. Let's go into a 15-minute chart. All right, so that's the first. And that's the high off last week. All right, so this zone is still a target, I guess. And the blue line there is your 38,920. 38,920 is going to be there. All right, so this zone is a resistance zone. So going up into that zone, I'm thinking not a bad idea. Okay. Still, as you can see, we've got breakdown here, and the market did close lower than that, but we didn't go lower than this swing here. We went lower than that swing, so the market's giving us a bit of a sell mode here, which I don't mind going along with this week on the highs. On the monthly, you can see that's a target zone there, both on the PST and on the price. So possible retracement is doable. Okay. Now then, okay, this is how it is. All right. So going back up into these levels is an option, and then selling from here is an option. If you want to go long again, try the daily pivot. This is a zone the market can go up at in New York here. Okay. If they want to do a crazy move, they could move the price all the way down here, as you can see, because there's a bit of a gap. Not a lot, just a tat. So this zone at Astro hours is also okay to get back in the game. All right. The weekly pivot, obviously, as well. NASDAQ, same kind of thing, I guess. We're all going to be following that. Let's take a look. This is the hourly chart. NASDAQ, once again, market comes down, sweeps, stops from the lows, and then goes up. So not a lot of, as you can see, excitement here, but that's a good buy kiss there on 53, 18,031, 18,031, which is right there. All right, so that's your good buy kiss there. There's a bit of a gap here. If we break above this, okay, if we break above this, you have to understand we're going to go up a little bit, but probably to sell off. Okay, once again, this is not an engulfing or anything, just a retracement. So the market's still like kind of trying to push up, and it can keep still going up, like I said, until Thursday because of the aspects. But here we should get choppy. All right, we should like have a choppy because we've got a bunch of stuff in the sky that is like starting new cycles. So this is going to give a, you know, tug of war, I guess. You keep pulling and pushing, and then we'll have a, you know, reversal one way or the other. So from the highs, I am expecting some kind of a reversal. So just being mindful on the choppiness of the market is important, though, right? So selling the highs after sweeping stops is whatever is okay from the high of last week. If we break up a little bit, try to do it on swing days, which I gave you on Monday. All right, so NASDAQ, tomorrow is also a swing day. Maybe if the market pushes up on Thursday, we can swing out and so on. Wednesday, Thursday can be like a swinging low kind of thing. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is especially influenced with these astro events until Thursday and also in April, which I talked about before. So all of those I mentioned earlier on. And let's see where we're at. So this is like skyrocketed. Okay. All right. So that's another level there. Now remember, I said if the market dips down, you can go in. And look, that's a nice dip there. Let's do this 1 hour chart here. All right. So for those of you who are day trading, if the market comes down, going up is okay because the market's still trending. And also, as you can see, we've broken above that. So this zone is now, it's like over. It's just, you know, as soon as it closed above, any pullback is legitimate to go back in long. Okay. If you're a buyer and holder, like I always say, this isn't the best place to be buying and holding at all. And I wouldn't be buying and holding up here, like I always say, because what goes up has to come down into zones where the market will want to retest and rebuy. Okay, so these levels are still, as far as I'm concerned anyway, should be on the cards. And if they all of a sudden, you know, push and shove and bring the market back down, you shouldn't be surprised. Mind you, if you were following me for a long time, you would have known that from January 2022, I did say it's viable. All right. So a lot of people say, well, you know, markets are going up. Well, listen, where were you when I talked about it in January there, 2023? In fact, I said the 12th or the 15th, which you can just keep starting to buy. There you go, 10, 11, there you go, 12, and so on, as you can see. All right. So that's, as you can see, the way it is. All right. But it should retrace as always. What goes up comes down. So don't get caught up with a bunch of stuff. Bitcoin's in your hand up here. And this week, like I said, is tricky. You want to be careful. If you want to day trade it, if you're day trading it, okay, obviously, then what you can do is buy on the pullbacks because there's a strong trend up, okay? But this is going to stop somewhere, and I'm probably thinking it's going to be, it's probably going to be Thursday. All right. Okay, that's that.